Top 10 celebrity scandals everyone forgot happened. With fame comes scandal. Time and again, celebrities have found themselves in some of the most controversial year-defining situations, be it getting caught in secret affairs, being arrested for shoplifting or drunk driving, and tragically being accused of sexual assault. Don't forget to watch today's video to the very end for the top 10 celebrity scandals everyone forgot happened. Let's be real, celebrities always seem to be getting involved in scandalous situations that make them the #1 topic of conversation in the news cycle. While there's always something to talk about when it comes to the Hollywood scene, some of these dramas are definitely bigger than others. The biggest celeb scandals of our time include everything from cheating accusations of all kinds to tragic and untimely deaths. It's basically impossible to round up every single moment that stars have made headlines for something they've done over the last 20+ years, but these are the scandals that you'll probably be telling your grandkids about one day. And sure, we could do without the devastatingly sad moments, RIP Kobe, but the gossipy scandals are at least a little bit entertaining. The year 2020 was, however, like no other given the devastating coronavirus pandemic, nationwide protests across the United States, and a historical presidential election. All the while, celebrities around the globe reacted to the current events as they unfolded. However, if there's one constant that remained true to years past, it's that celebrities not only reacted to the news, they contributed to it. It has been the best of times for celebrities and perhaps the worst of times for a number of their publicists. On one hand, our wealthiest stars certainly enjoy better quarantine habitats than the little people. On the other, the struggle to understand how dire the pandemic has been for many has also led some stars to expose just how out of touch they really are. Before the pandemic sent millions across the world into quarantine, some of our juiciest celebrity scandals had already broken. Days into the new year, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry announced they were breaking from their royal duties. But things really got interesting as many of us began a long stay at home, binging shows like Love is Blind and Tiger King, and groaning over celebrity goodwill efforts like that cringe-inducing Imagine video. Here, for your perusal, are some of the highlights, and more often lowlights, of the celebrity scandals from the last few decades. Number 10. A nanny affair. You would think that when you're engaged to a girl as beautiful as Sienna Miller, you wouldn't be tempted to cheat. But that definitely was not the case when it came to Jude Law. In 2005, it came out that Jude Law was cheating on Sienna Miller with none other than the couple's nanny. If that is not cliché enough for you, Law allegedly blamed his unsavory actions on Miller because he was oh so unhappy with their relationship. Miller and Law split in 2006, but surprisingly got back together in 2009. Unfortunately, the timing still was just not right for these star-crossed lovers, and Law and Miller chose to go their separate ways once again in 2011. Number 9. A comedian accused of manslaughter. Fatty Arbuckle was a well-known comedian who became a star after signing with the Keystone Film Company. A few years later, Arbuckle signed a contract with Paramount for a whopping $1 million, which was an astronomical amount of money back then. But on September 5, 1921, at a Labor Day party, Arbuckle's career and image went up in flames. At the party, a girl named Virginia Rapp became violently ill and died days later. Newspapers took the story and claimed that Arbuckle killed Virginia with his weight while he was violently sexually assaulting her. Arbuckle was eventually arrested for the murder but was never charged with the crime. However, his career would never recover from that horrific night. Number 8. A wife apology. In 2009, David Letterman made a public apology to his wife after it came out that he'd had sexual relationships with his staff members. Letterman said, "When something happens like that, if you hurt a person and it's your responsibility, you try to fix it. And at that point, there's only two things that can happen. Either you're going to make some progress and get it fixed, or you're going to fall short and perhaps not get it fixed." In the announcement, he also thanked his staff for putting up with something stupid I've gotten myself involved in. Number 7. Soliciting sex. If any woman could keep a man on the straight and narrow, you would think it would be somebody like Elizabeth Hurley, but apparently it looks like she can't even keep a straying man faithful. In 1995, Hugh Grant, Elizabeth Hurley's boyfriend at the time, was arrested with a prostitute for lewd conduct in a public place. Officer Corey Palka arrested Grant as a prostitute was performing oral sex on him. The officer described Grant as being a real gentleman when he was being arrested, so I guess that says something. As per usual, Grant issued a statement after his arrest saying, "Last night I did something completely insane. I've hurt people I love and embarrassed people I work with. For both things, we are sorrier than we can ever possibly say." Number 6. The gun incident. In 1990, an infamous gun incident took place in the then-engaged Charlie Sheen and Kelly Preston's home. The story of what actually happened on the night of the gun debacle has never been completely cleared up. At the time of the incident, it was believed that Sheen accidentally shot Preston in the arm. However, Sheen claims that Preston was the one who accidentally shot herself. In Sheen's version of events, he says that Preston had picked up a pair of his pants when the gun fell out of them, which accidentally caused it to discharge. Whatever the real story is behind the event, we're pretty sure that Preston is glad that she and Sheen parted ways before things got really crazy. Number 5. An infamous sex tape. Although you may be more familiar with Rob Lowe as the hunk from St. Elmo's Fire or the overly enthusiastic Chris Traeger on Parks and Recreation, Lowe was in the midst of a huge scandal at the age of 22. At 22, Lowe was involved in a steamy sex tape scandal with a 16-year-old and a 22-year-old. In addition, another part of the tape showed Lowe and his buddy both having sex with a young model and was actually released as the first commercially available celebrity sex tape. Luckily, Lowe has bounced back from his sex tape scandal and even said in an interview with Oprah that it was the best thing that ever happened to him because what it ends up doing is accelerating my alcohol addiction to where I finally get sober. So, as it turns out, some celebrity scandals are a blessing in a dark and ugly disguise. Number 4. The outrageous backlash. After years of being thought of as one of the funniest and friendliest celebrities in the business, Ellen DeGeneres faced some serious backlash in 2020. It began with rumors that Ellen didn't treat her employees kindly, and in July 2020, 2 reports were released that painted the show as a nightmare, where employees were sexually harassed, embarrassed, and talked down to. Many more people began telling their own stories about Ellen being cruel to them, leading producers to have to confirm that her talk show was not cancelled. Number 3. The divorce saga. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth finally tied the knot in an intimate wedding ceremony in December 2018 after 10 years of an on-and-off relationship. In August 19, just 7 months later, the two shocked fans when they announced their divorce. Immediately afterwards, images surfaced of Cyrus making out with Brody Jennifer's ex, Caitlyn Carter, on a yacht. Cyrus denied that she cheated, but the two stayed apart. Number 2. A racist rant. During a press tour for 2019's Cold Pursuit, Liam Neeson admitted that he'd wanted to kill a black man to get revenge after a friend of his was raped. He said that he had been seeking out black men in his area, hoping I'd be approached by somebody, I'm ashamed to say that, and I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, you know, so that I could kill him. Shockingly, that press tour was immediately cancelled. Number 1. The hashtag #MeToo movement. The allegations against Weinstein sparked the hashtag #MeToo movement, an initiative meant to combat sexual assault and harassment in Hollywood and all over the world. After Alyssa Milano posted a tweet encouraging women who had been sexually harassed or assaulted to write "Me Too" as their status, many high-profile celebrities, including Gwyneth Paltrow and Jennifer Lawrence, followed suit. The hashtag #MeToo movement quickly spread, and since it began, a large number of high-profile firings in Hollywood and related businesses have occurred. That is it for today's video. Join in next time for more of such interesting content.